Episode 55.
Return of the Squirrel.
Hello and welcome to the Pink Hair Girl podcast. My name is Sally Jane and today I've got Caleb with me. Welcome, my boy. Rachel is at my mom, and so Caleb decided to come and join me on the podcast. And we also wanted to follow up on our squirrel episode, didn't we? A while back, Caleb did a little podcast with me, and it was about how people say squirrel, how non-English speaking people pronounce the word squirrel. So I'm going to find, there is a very funny clip of some German students saying squirrel. I'm going to include that. And then at the end, I will include all the bits and pieces people have sent us of them, different, the way English people pronounce the word squirrel. So from various places, be that England and Australia and Ireland, I think. So we're going to have those. And then I've got various languages of pronouncing the word squirrel as well. Now, I haven't tried to import all of these into iMovie yet. And I think possibly that there are a couple of clips on Instagram that I don't know that I can get off Instagram. That's the only problem. Anyway, so we'll see how those go.
Hi, Sally Jane. This is Mimi, teacher in Buffalo, New York. I grew up in Taiwan and spoke Mandarin Chinese. The word squirrel in Mandarin Chinese is songshu, which literally means pine tree mouse.
Hi, my name is Isabelle. I'm French Canadian. And Sally Jane and her son wanted to know how I say squirrel, so that's how I say it. And in my language, French, en français, on dit écureuil. Alors, bonne journée.
A squirrel in Dutch is an eekhoorn.
French, écureuil. Spanish, ardilla.
Squirrel.
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 Hello, Sally and Caleb. This is Linda and Charlie, and we're here to say
Squirrel.
squirrel. Bye.
Squirrel or squirrel. Era.
Ardilla.
My home language is English, and it's squirrel. Squirrel, squirrel.
Eichhörnchen. Eichhörnchen.
Eekhoorn.
We're going to try and keep this short today. We've got a bit of knitting. We've got quite a lot of acquisitions and only one finished object. So who's got the finished object? You. When you went to England recently, didn't you? You went with Grandpa, you did. And you visited some museums and you saw your dad and you did all sorts of fun things, didn't you? And he finished his hat to take with him. So this is the one-of-a-kind yarn that Sally Wool Diaries gave to him. And it goes from a grey-blue on the bottom, sort of a gradient, into a blue, and then into a yellowy green, and then into the orange on the top. We didn't, there is still the rest of this game that he can make something else with. So that's very nice. And there's your lovely hat. And that fits, oh, where's your ear? So that fits very nicely. Did you wear it when you were in England? Did you? Well done. So Caleb's, do you want to keep it on? No, keep it on, okay. Caleb's got the only finished object. I have not finished anything this week. What did I knit on this week? I knitted on, we went out on Saturday afternoon with the kids, and I, like on the podcast last time, can't take the Sylvie out, and then we were at a barbecue on Sunday, so I needed something to knit. So I finished the body of Rachel's kitty vertebrae. and that's in the Noro sock yarn. So you can see, I think I was on the podcast last week. I think I started about here, somewhere here, and so I just finished down the body there. So this just needs sleeves and a band on it now. So that was what I knitted on, and then what are you knitting on?
At the moment,
you've got your lovely bag. Caleb's got one of those IKEA fabric color-in bags. So he made himself his little color-in. Well, he did the fabric and I sewed the bag for him. And what are you knitting? What is this?
a licorice hat.
A licorice hat. And do you know who the pattern is by? Do you know who wrote the pattern?
No.
Don't you? Mummy's friend Claire. Mummy's friend Claire wrote the pattern. So this is the licorice hat, the same one that Rachel is knitting, that we were supposed to do for the Knit Share Love knit along that we failed so hopelessly at. And I am a little worried that Caleb's hat is a bit small. This looks like a very small base. His yarn is thinner than the recommended yarn, but then his head is smaller because he's littler. So I thought it would be okay, but I am a little bit. I mean, it's got a good bit of stretch in it. Maybe it'll be all right. It's hard to try it on his head because there's not enough yet. But if I measure unstretched, the two ribs next to each other, this hat is quite significantly bigger. I'm worried we might have made your hat too small. But it's not a train smash, because if it's too small, what are we going to do with it?
We're going to give it to...
We're going to give it to my friend Heather, who's having a baby. And she's having a boy, so it'll be very nice boy cutters. We do still hope it's going to fit you, don't we? Yes. Otherwise, we'll have to make you another licorice hat. So Caleb is making a licorice hat. So you're going to knit a little bit. There you are. I am making the never-ending Sylvie. My friend Sally Wool Diaries, after the last podcast, says we put a progress marker for where I was last week, and then I would be able to show you this time. And I thought that's a jolly smart idea, and then promptly forgot to do it. So I don't know where I was last week. It was a bit silly. I know I was above I know I had done this flowery bit, the second flower bit, so I don't know. I'm just further up sorry, I'm halfway through a row. So I'm just further up the body. I'm about 20 rows before the pattern on the back would cast off underneath the arms for the sleeves. And that's when I'm going to split. I'm going to split it into the fronts and the back at that point. So yeah, it is quite hot. I mean, this is a lot of stuff to be sitting on your lap in the summer, but I do want to get it finished now. I find moss stitch quite slow, and on the bigger needles I just find it's much more sort of exaggerated stitches you have to do than much quicker and finer work I can do with small needles. But the one advantage of big yarn and thick needles is that it goes, well, a row takes up more space. It's like, you can see quite a bit of progress after a few rows. Although the rows being over 300 stitches, something's falling over. The rows being over 300 stitches do take me a good long while to do. But the Sylvie is still hopefully on track to be finished before the end of the year. I thought I turned this phone off on silent. Sorry. I was very shy to. Anyway, so that is mostly what I've been knitting on. And then the other thing that I've been knitting on that I cast on the other day, I will show you in acquisition. So let me put this big Sylvie here, and then I'm going to finish that whole row. So put that down there. The 1st of December has started, which means it is now Advent. And what are you guys getting for Advent?
Shall I get a reflection?
Actually, you can go to bed. So the last year, the Christmas fairy gave the children money in the Advent calendar, and then they wanted to put it together to go and buy Lego sets. So that's what they got last year, was a chocolate coin and money towards buying a Lego set each. this year, the Christmas fairy, those on Instagram will know, sent them a letter saying, this year I found an awesome Lego set for your advent calendar. Each day you will get a small piece of it. It might not make sense, but if you work together and put all your pieces together, the set will come together, I promise. Now find a good safe place to keep it where I can see and remember to work together. Love from the Christmas fairy. So there's their letter. And then the first day they got the North Pole sign and a reindeer and Father Christmas. So this was day one with these. Each one got a little different. They're on my Instagram as well if you want slightly better pictures than me trying to, it's hopeless trying to show them with my fingers. Anyway. And then on day two, they got the Christmas tree. It had a lot more pieces. They get an envelope like this, and then it comes with their pieces. And she also puts instructions in for them. So that's the sleigh they made. The instructions, this is all about the different things about the sleigh. So the little instruction thingy tells them what they're making. And so then yesterday and today, so the 3rd and the 4th, they got a little sleigh, which is going to be Santa's sled, so we can put him in there.
And there's only a bit of room, but you can fit the reindeer in somehow.
I wonder if there's something that's going to go on it, that it somehow goes on. Don't know. It's got these long bits here which make us think that there's some other bit that's coming. And there's little Father Christmas on his sleigh, and then the little reindeer and stuff. And so they get the instructions in the thingy every day, the piece of instructions, and they're busy keeping it in this box with all their Advent stuff. So that's what they've been getting every day. So normally I don't get stuff on Advent, but my friend Sally Wool Diaries and I decided to do an Advent swap. Let's put that back up. Decided to do an Advent swap this year. So I sent stuff down, like I said last week, with Emma to Joburg, and Sally sent some stuff up for me. So my day one is now a work in progress, was our Christmas yarn. Those of you that watched the podcast for a while will know that Sally and I are doing knitting socks throughout the year. So 6 months of the year I organise the sock yarn, and 6 months of the year she organised the sock yarn. Well, I mean, not the first, like it was 1 month I did it and 1 month she did it. So I did January, she did February, etc., etc., etc. So the last month, Les, we've kept up. We've knitted all 11 so far socks for the year, and the last one is Christmas. So Sally was organising Christmas, and this is our Christmas yarn from Yarn Stash in Pietermaritzburg, Wendy, and this is called Christmas Holly, which is lovely. It's kind of orangey reds and white and green, which is really gorgeous. And I can show you how it's knitting up because I have cast on the toe already, as you can see there. And I am doing the zigzagular socks by the Prairie Girl Designs, which is especially for variegated yarn that doesn't always play nice with a pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. So I don't know why I decided to do a pattern, especially when I'm trying to finish the Sylvie, but I think, like she says in the pattern, sometimes you just can't face another pair of vanilla socks. So I decided to do a pattern. So I'm doing the zigzagular socks on from the Prairie Girl Designs in this lovely yarn from Wendy in the Hollies. And I think you can. I've only done one sort of zig and a zag so far, but I think you can sort of see it. I think it'll be quite nice. So those are my socks, the sock yarn, and then the project bag that we got that Sally made this time. Apparently she only made me one. She didn't even get to make herself one. She'd been too busy with other stuff and she had other bags herself. So it is presents, Christmas presents, and red gingham inside, and it's got a very cute little zipper doodah. and I really love it. And then she gave us a little thing of chocolates. This had chocolates in it. It's now a Notions pouch, but we ate the chocolates. I can't wait. As you know in the podcast before, you don't always get to see the snacks. I don't wait. Sadie seems to keep hers. I'm not that good. The little reindeer, oopsie, little reindeer tin. And so this now holds my stitch markers. These have got some little Christmas trees and other little stitch markers inside there that Sally gave me. And my Zambak lip ice. Oh, and there was a little hand lotion in here as well. And that was my day one and a work in progress. And day two was my adult colouring in books. If you've been following me on Instagram, you will have seen all of these. My Christmas Advent colouring in book. Titus wasn't, well, he was actually fine. He was feeling fine. He just had a bit of a temperature, so I couldn't send him to playgroup. So he helped me. We started colouring in one of the pages. There. We need to get back to doing a bit more. So this is my Christmas one. It's quite nice. The Christmas one has some things that are a bit bigger as well, so I can get him to help me. It's got some finer ones and then some bigger ones. So I can get him to help me colour in too. And then this one is the Natural World colouring book, which I know Rachel really likes. It's got beautiful animals in it. I think I've got anxiety about if I can colour in well enough. I was never very good at colouring in. It's supposed to be relaxing. I mustn't let the anxiety overrun the relaxation here. Look at the birds. There was a beautiful, oh, there's a butterfly. If Rachel was here, she'd be able to tell us this, what this style of art is called, where you make up a picture from little geometric patterns. Because she was doing it with my dad in her art lessons, and I can't remember what it's called. Do you remember? No, I think Rachel made a card for cubs with it, and I was an elephant. So that was my colouring in book with my cokies. We call them cokies here. I think they're felt tips overseas. And pencil crayons. So cokies and pencil crayons and colouring books. So that was my day two. You can get the theme here, you know, like totally, thoroughly and utterly spoiled is, you know, the general theme of Sally's Advent stuff to me. So yeah, you'll get the idea as we go along. My day three was fudge, which has been eaten, of course, and some wonderful natural detox soap. And I know this is the got a little angel on it there. The licorice flavour. And their stall was at the Irene Market when I went with Sally, and she said their soap was so lovely. And up to maybe 2 washcloths. I love handmade washcloths. I know the light is a bit bad for seeing. It's an apple. Oh, that's not really showing. Anyway, so it's an apple with a letter A in it, and then she says it because I teach my children. I'm an something about I'm an educator, not only teaching them about, like, educate them, but teach them about life or something like that too. It was really sweet. And then this one is an S in the Superman. Here, the Superman logo, which has an S in it. Of course, the S for Sally Jane, but she says the also because I'm like a super mom or superhero. It's really sweet. And so that was in green and, is this red, pink? Well, Christmassy colours to me anyway. And my lovely soap and my fudge, which is eaten already. And then today, I got some lovely stuff today. Today I got orange cactus fig rooibos tea from the tea merchant. This is very fancy. It comes in a triangle tin. And then there's the loose tea with actual pieces of fruit. I don't think you can see it on the camera. But if you go look at my Instagram account, I'll put a picture. Smell there. Smells nice, eh? Smells nice, eh? Have another sniff.
It smells as really like fruit.
It does, it does. It's got like pieces of papaya and everything in it. It's so delicious. And then a double walled glass cup. This side is glass here, and then on the inside, and then it keeps your tea warm for longer. And my tea's still warm, even though I made it before we started. And the tea's delicious. The tea is so nice. I think I can just sit here for the rest of the podcast drinking tea.
Yeah.
So that might be a bit rude. And then Hopefully this won't drip because it was actually holding the tea in it earlier. The little tea infuser, which sits in the, floats in the mug. It's a really cute one. And then when I leave mine in for quite long because I like my rooibos quite strong. And then you just pop that out. And it's such an easy one. It pops. I had another one, a metal one with two pieces that you've got to put together. And I can never get them to align. And then I can't open the thing. And then this just pops off so easy. The top plastic bit just pops off the bottom so easily. And then it's got a little stand that goes on. And so that's my wonderful tea. I've got to be careful with this cup. I'm a little bit worried that I might be a bit clumsy and break it like a klutz. But never mind. We'll try. I'm going to try very hard not to. I'm not going to even put it in the dishwasher.
It's a one of a kind.
Oh, especially in our house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's very nice. This tea is I really like fruity flavors. Like last week was the chocolate berry one that Amelia had given me, and this week's this one. I'm not terribly fond of very strong black tea flavor. If black tea gets too strong to me, I'm not wild about it. I'm trying to like green tea, and I really, if it gets too bitter, I think that's my problem. If the tea has too much of a bitter undertones or whatever, and I think that also might be due to brewing it wrong or too long or something like that. But this is lovely. So how spoiled am I in this gorgeous tea stuff? And my little tea straining goodie was my present for today. So is that 4? Yeah. The yarn on the first day, the colouring book, the washcloths, and that. So that's up to day 4. So that's what I got. Then that's not all. There are more acquisitions to come. Then Rachel is on the South African swap group. Rachel and I are swapping this time because Caleb did the last swap, and we have sent our parcels. So it's not A sends to B and B sends to A. So who you send to is not who you get from. So Rachel and I have sent out our parcels, and our partners have sent us parcels. Now you could in this swap, you could either do 24 little presents for the person to open, 12 days of Christmas if you wanted to, or one present, one thing that you could open all at once. So Rachel's partner sent her one, and she said that the first day was the clue into who Rachel's partner was. And I'm only going to show you this one because next week she'll want to show you everything else, but because she sends a few more of these. So it's a little hedgehog, and a hedgehog in Afrikaans is called a krimpvarkie. And so this was the clue to who her partner was. So it's my friend Elaine, who lives in Pretoria, who's been a good friend of mine for years. And so she sent a little hedgehog for Rachel as her day 1. But she didn't only send that. What else did she send, my boy? The hedgehogs. Bring the hedgehog. So there was a pink hedgehog. And there was a red hedgehog. And there's a blue hedgehog. So there's one for me and the 2 boys. So hold your one. And hold tight this one. And Rachel's one. And bring them closer here so we make like a hedgehog family. Look, there's our little hedgehog. They're so cute. They're just ridiculously cute. They're all fluffy and fuzzy. And this stuff must be so hard to knit with because you can't see if you've made a mistake. They are just adorable. So she said one of each of these for the children. That's not all, she said. Doesn't matter. This beyond the 24 gifts that Rachel is still opening, mind you. What else did you get? Both Titus and Caleb got a Lego Man hat. Put your hat on, Ski.
And this was also day 1.
This was also all in the. Bend your head forward like this. Boop. So you can see it's got a Lego. Like the Lego Man has a little doodah on his head. A Lego clippy thingy. You know what I mean. So yes.
Should I go get a Lego Man head?
So there's the little Lego Man head. So both the boys have one of these. And then she sent me a gift because she's just so lovely. Elaine's been a friend of mine for a long time. She sent me a lovely project bag with a little hedgehog on the little label here, little krimpvarkie there, and a notions pouch with a whole bag of stitch markers. If you can see all the little There's not no point trying to hold them out. I did put all of these on Instagram, and she sent me chocolates. I didn't eat those. I put them out somewhere. I've lost them before I've even eaten them. Anyway, so there's some chocolates.
I thought you put them on your leg. They might have fallen off.
And some yarn, little minis, like the this one over here, the purple one is one I actually dyed for her to knit socks with, and that's her watermelon that she knitted some watermelon socks on, and some other minis that I don't have. So there was the minis and the thingies. Oh, this is very cute. On the edge of the notions part, the little zipper pull thingy is a tape measure, which I'm not sure if you can see that at all. It's a little tape measure, which is so cute. And she sent me some lovely little thing of Ferrero Rocher chocolates. And some Lindt chocolate, which I found. My little chocolate balls. These ones I haven't eaten yet. Everything else from the parcel I've eaten so far. Yeah, I think I put this parcel aside to try and remember to put it on the podcast. I think that was the only reason I'd forgotten to take the chocolates out of it first. So those are all my things from Elaine and from Sally. And then my own parcel arrived. From Indiana Jones, who is Carrie. And mine was an open all at once parcel. I put a picture on Instagram, I think, of what did I put a picture on before I opened it? I'm not sure. It was all very prettily wrapped up. So let me show you. First, I got this lovely project bag. This lovely shwe orange project bag. So she did a good job of finding out the things I like, because the orange is perfect. And then the first yarn I got was the Opal Kingfisher yarn. It's got the little kingfisher picture over there, if you can see. I'm not sure, the light reflecting. I'm not sure actually how much of that is showing. Where's the little kingfisher bird? There somewhere. And it's turquoise and blue and orange, which is like Rachel really wants to have this, and I said no.
Because she's in the group in Scouts, Kingfisher.
She's in the Kingfisher Patrol at Scouts. I said it didn't matter. This was mine. And this is blue and purple Linda's Treehouse. I've never tried Linda's Treehouse before. This is a DK, which is kid mohair, alpaca, and merino. So I'm very keen to try that. So that's a beautiful blues and purples. That's lovely. And then I also got more tea. And she lives on the garden route, which is kind of between going from Cape Town, out of Cape Town, up the coast. That area is called the garden route. It's a very pretty, very botanical, very beautiful area. Sort of nice and a George, all of that. And so she lives along the garden route. So she said she especially chose things that supported small businesses along the garden route. So this is called Pick Me Up Tea, Strawberry and Honey Bush. And this is from a farm stall in George. And it's got a little quote on the back saying, "Worrying does not empty tomorrow of its troubles, but it empties today of its strength." I don't know if you can see that. So that was really nice, a little pin-up girl tea thing, and then inside is the tea bags are in there. And I got also from the garden route, handmade in the garden route, little orange earrings, star earrings, also in orange. Isn't that cool? And a little giraffe. Giraffes are my favorite animal. Oh, can you see him? He's a little bit tiny. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put him against the
magnifying glass?
No, not the magnifying glass. I thought if I put him on with the, oh no, I can't hold him. Being dorky. I was trying to hold him against the lighter color. Oh, I don't know if you can see him. He's a tiny little giraffe, and then you pull off the back and it makes a little pin. Maybe if I pin him on me, then we can see him. I pin him on. Am I being totally dorky? There we go. So here's my little giraffe. And this is lovely. This was on the outside of one of the packages. A little angel, and I'm going to hang her on the Christmas tree. Oh, and the project bag. Here is the project bag I was showing earlier, trying to show it back in, with an orange, see all the lovely orange things she included for me. The little orange notions, orange flower on the notions part, and then some gorgeous scissors. These are those very nice, fancy, sharp, gold ones. They're proper nice solid scissors. So those are great. So I'm really chuffed with those. And those are going in my little notions pouch. Oh, the needles. She sent me needles and they're in the wrong bag because I'm cast on with them already. My socks are on the needles, which are some Addies. Addie lace needles, extra sharp tips, 60 centimeters, 2.25. So I've never used Addies before. So I'm quite chuffed with this. So there's my needles that were part of my Christmas swap. So those were my needles. And then lastly, this one doesn't say where he's from. Like it's a little, see a Bambi, like a little deer. It looks like a Bambi, hey. A little Bambi brooch. I don't know if he's also from the garden, but he's very sweet. So that's my little Bambi. And that was my lovely Christmas parcel. So I've got my angel to put on the tree now that I've showed you, and my yarn and all my other lovely goodies. So thank you very much, Indiana Jones. I think your name is Carrie. I think this says, I'm sure that says Carrie. Yeah. Thank you very much. Or a friend of mine spells her name like that and calls herself Kerry. So I'm not sure if it's a Kerry or a Carrie. Anyway, thank you so much for all my lovely, lovely, lovely stuff in my beautiful bags. That was my Christmas swap from the South African swap group. So that was very nice. And all my Advent things I've been getting from Sally. And as I say, my knitting, a little bit I did on the kitty vertebrae to finish Rachel's thing. And mostly the Sylvian has just started casting on the socks. So for knitting, that is about all I've got for this week. So thank you for joining me. And we will put all the squirrel, I was going to say squirrel noises. It's not really squirrel noises, it's squirrel people saying squirrels. We'll put that all in there. So thank you so much. You can't rub your nose while we sing goodbye. Thank you so much for joining us. And oh, that looks, there we go. We went out of focus for a minute. Thank you so much for joining us. And Rachel will be back next week. Bye.
Bye.